is sexy.
Kindness is sexy.
Kiss. Kindness is sexy.
Kindness is sexy. Hi, it's Mary Ellen O'Neill Madeley with KIS Kindness is Sexy, and today we are with Leslie Martins and JC, and we're talking about a special fundraiser that Leslie is doing, which is called
Fight for a Transplant. The event is at Oasis Convention Center, and it's on March 16th. It's 5 o'clock as doors open, 6 o'clock dinner.
And what actually got you started on Fight for a Transplant?
Because I am a recipient of a liver transplant.
You're way too young for that. That's all I have to say. How did you actually even know?
I started off getting a lot of symptoms, a lot of itching. So I went in for a routine blood work, was told that one of my enzymes were high. And so repeated week after week, and they just kept on. And the itching was so bad. I had called severe pruritus. So I was diagnosed in August of 2010 through a biopsy that I had PBC. And from there, I started doing treatments at Princess Margaret, where I would do plasmapheresis. So what it is take out your plasma, filter it, and add new plasma into your body. And that didn't work. And with that, it caused me to have a blood clot in my lung. So my body rejects all PICC lines. So in 2013, I'll be honest, I walked in Toronto Western on April 9th. And I said to the doctor, if you don't do something for me, I'm gonna kill myself. I can't do this anymore. Because the itching was so bad. I was with my window open, minus 30 degrees. Because the heat, any type of heat, my body would just react and I would just itch the night away. I was about 90 pounds at the time. You can see the difference now.
And much better.
I wasn't giving up because I had my children. I had become a single mom on the time that I found out that I was diagnosed with PBC.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, and so alone with 3 kids, I walked into Toronto Western, and sure enough, the head director of Transplant, she was there, and I wasn't qualified yet to do a transplant because after a fibroscan, I just wasn't, my MELD score wasn't enough to do the transplant.
Okay, so what is, when you say you weren't qualified, what does that mean?
There's a certain criteria. So when they do the fibroscan and they do an MRIs, your liver has to be, or any organ has to be at a score level to be qualified for a transplant. The only way I was qualified if I had a living donor. I didn't want to put my family at risk of a surgery. When I went on the April 9th, I said, I'm okay, I'll do living donor. That's how desperate I was at the time. I just couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
So May 28th, we started doing testing, and then within 3 weeks, we got our call to do the transplant. My mother's surgery was 8 hours, and mine was 10.
Wow.
But when I woke up from surgery, I remember hearing my sister standing next to me in the bed and asking the doctor, her eyes are white. Is that normal? Because prior to the surgery, my eyes were just yellow from the jaundice,
right.
The bilirubin.
Right.
So within 10 hours, a huge difference. And I didn't feel an itch. And I woke up with no itch for the first time in 5 years. I had no itch.
That's a long time to actually go through what you went through, and a long time to wait to see what you're going to do. What was the purpose for the fundraiser? What is it that you want to do? And because you said you want to give it to the hospital, but what is it that you want to give it to the hospital for? You're doing something specific.
My dream is to give it back to the hospital. And it's from my heart to give back. A friend of mine, she says to me, we should do like a little group of ladies' night. So as I'm driving up to Bradford, I said, you know what? No. I said, I think I should do this is my call to do the fundraiser. So I called her back. I said, listen, let me do everything. Just back me up to sell tickets, and I'll get us to do everything. So within a month and a half, I organized a fundraiser in which we collected $15,081.
What is it that you have there? What happens at the fundraiser itself?
Sure. So I have great artists, right? Singing. We usually have about 3 artists. Thanks to John, who's helping my daughter out with the singing too. She was there that night singing. And it's just ladies having fun. Just ladies.
It is a ladies' night.
I have companies who give gifts, and then I do raffle tickets on the night.
The initiative is fantastic, raising funds for transplant. And there's a foundation for every cancer out there. but there was never really an initiative to fund the end result of these illnesses, which is the transplant. What people don't realize throughout their voyages in our community, especially the Portuguese community, is that OHIP doesn't cover everything. Especially when it comes to third stage, fourth stage cancer treatments, where options like stem cells, transplant, which is a transplant, believe it or not, is not funded by OHIP. And it's very, very expensive. Who can afford $1,200 a month outside of their regular expenses? Not too many people. Kudos to her, and I was there indirectly last year, but this year I will be there in person to support her. And anyone who knows me, I'm there to help any cause that is credible and realistic. That's my role in all this.
And he's going to be singing.
I am going to be singing. Oh, no. This fundraiser caters, I'd say 75 to 90% of the people are going to be there from Portuguese descent. It's an education piece. You need to attend to get yourself educated as well, as far as funding goes. Everybody out there, there's nobody that's immune from getting a transplant. And more, sadly so, a lot of children are in need of transplants. So, kudos. I think you're doing an awesome initiative here, and I hope you keep going.
And I'm really
I really
excited because this is my first time attending this, and I'm very excited. I'm attending it on an Irish weekend. I just want to let you know it's St. Patrick's Day
Just
weekend.
so if you didn't know, Mary Ellen's Irish.
That's important, you know.
Yeah.
So the main reason that you are doing the actual fundraiser is specifically for helping families get through that part of this whole process.
That's right.
What was your hardest? Because you were a single mom at the time. What was the hardest part for you? Was it the money, or was it what you were going through?
I think it was just everything in general. Obviously money. I had to quit my job. I worked for a bank. I had to quit my job towards the end. I wasn't coping up to keep up. My children, the fact of maybe losing a mom, right? So my fear was, what's gonna happen with them.
Okay, now you're going to be doing that.
So my children were always on the top of the list for me. Money, it's not important. I mean, you need the money, but it's not important to live.
But that's why this is important, is because what you want to do is help moms or dads. It's not just moms, like moms, dads, anyone who's going through this and who's feeling what you're feeling, and you also can't be working at the same time. That's huge, and it's so important for people to understand that no matter what, it's going to be hard, but if you have a group of people together that bring something to the table and are able to help financially, that's unbelievable.
Absolutely.
Goes a long way, definitely.
Even something simple as a support group for transplant recipients and people who are in line for a transplant. There really isn't any support from anybody. It's a very stressful, very painful process that you go through.
And awareness. I remember I was having a coffee with two Portuguese ladies, and one of them said to me she didn't want to sit next to me because I was contagious.
Oh wow.
And when John says, no one's immune, it's true. It wasn't hereditary.
Yeah.
My illness was picked up from environmentally.
Right.
Yeah.
So it had nothing to do, you don't know, right? You just don't know what tomorrow's going to be like.
Right. What is it that you actually need because you have, how many tables?
30 tables.
And you have how many full?
30 tables.
Exactly.
We doubled from last
That's
year.
excellent.
That's awesome.
If anybody else wants to join us, it's okay, we'll add tables.
Did you just hear that? We will add tables.
Come join us.
And what you need right now is sponsorship.
When I decided to do the fundraiser last year, I needed to apply to Toronto General Hospital. They gave me an approval letter, and that's what I provide to the sponsorships. And then June, July, that's when Toronto General usually issues the tax receipts for all the sponsors. So when you do sponsor, you're guaranteed to have a tax receipt. So sponsorship amounts, we don't have any specific amount, because every dollar counts.
I totally
So,
agree.
I have sponsors who give $170. At the end of the day, when you add them all together, it adds up.
Do you have corporate sponsorships as well? Do you have companies that
Yeah.
sponsor and it's the same thing, just the tax receipt?
That's right.
Okay.
That's
So this basically, we just want to make sure that people remember that on March 16th, the fundraiser will be happening, and we still need sponsorships because the more Leslie makes, the more families that she can help.
If anybody wants to be a sponsor, they can write their checks to Toronto General Hospital and Western Foundation.
Okay.
The address, they could use my home address.
I think this is very important. You're not only helping her cause, you may be helping your future, your own personal future or your kids' future. So really think about this. Corporate sponsorship is very important right now. And please contact Leslie, and she can make you make a difference.
What phone number or what email
Sure.
would you like people to contact?
You can contact me at 647-688-3400, or my personal email, which is Leslie, Leslie, Martins, Martins, @hotmail.com.
And we all have to remember that no matter what, kindness is sexy, and that is one of the most important things in this world, not the sexy part, but being kind. And I have to tell you, I'm super excited about this event, and even more so because I know now the personal story and it touches me. I haven't had to go through it, but I know people who have, and I'm hoping that we can get more sponsors before the event on March 16th. Thank you both, JC
thank you.
and Leslie, and I look forward to attending and hearing John sing. I've heard him sing, but this will be more fun. He's amazing. I kind of think so too.
Oh, you guys.
Thanks everyone. Have a great
you.
day, and we look forward to seeing you as a sponsor or possibly attending because Leslie's going to add tables. Have a great day, guys.
Falta e não sei que prenda a vida da gente. Ai, nada que se não vê. Tudo que a gente sente.
Please give generously to this incredible cause. Fight for a Transplant, Saturday, March 16th, at the Oasis Convention Center, 1036 Lakeshore Street East in Mississauga. All proceeds go directly to Toronto General and Western Foundation, and specifically the Transplant Unit. We thank you in advance for all your support.
Kindness is sexy.
Kindness is sexy.